What's up, beautiful souls? Your boy Loon is back with another video, and today we are finally doing a second deep dive back into looksmax.org. For those of you guys that don't know, this is a forum in which we found out in the last episode, you guys haven't seen that, you guys got to check that out, but we found out that this forum is akin to that of Incel. However, although it might not be as incel coded and black pill oriented as Incel, it's got some goofiness and nuances within it itself. First off, we found out that you can only be on this forum, quote unquote, if you're a guy, which was so interesting because I'm like, wouldn't you want the woman's perspective too? I don't know. But anyways, the goal of looksmax.org originally, we found that their goal was to essentially help each other out in looking the best way that they can because aesthetics matter, which I'm actually kind of for, believe it or not. Like, I think it's a good idea to, you know, improve yourself and build your confidence and build your looks. I think that's a great idea. However, we found it in the last episode that a lot of this forum has slowly got into a more incel coded black pill and dark whiny oh no victimhood mentality, and we're gonna be diving to a little bit more of all the aspects on this forum today. So I'm excited to do that, and yeah, we're gonna be looking at kind of all the subjects here, or most of them, and you guys can see in this forum it's got best of the best, looks maxing questions, money making and success, ratings, off topic, and again, a lot of this isn't that bad. Some of it, very bad. So let's see, and let's give it an unbiased, honest opinion. All right, we'll dive straight into best of the best because I feel like why not start strong? So the title of this one here, which I can't actually describe, but it's right here, is S-Appeal Maxing, aka an official guide in how you can max your sexual appeal towards women, okay? First thing I gotta notice is the writer here has a picture of R. Kelly as his, oh my God, dude, icon, that's crazy. And his name's King Kells, but all right, to each their own. We're gonna hear out King Kells here. All right, so number one on this guy's list on how to be a maxed out sexual presence towards women is a deep voice. Voice as a secondary sexual characteristic is known to affect the perceived attractiveness of human individuals. Men with deeper, lower pitch voices signal larger body size, which is sexually dysmorphic, attract more women, father more children, intimidate other men, and command respect from other men. The larger the larynx, the larger and thicker, I don't know what that, I'm guessing that's like a part of your vocal cords? Yeah, it's an organ, okay, in the lungs. Bet. The longer and thicker the vocal folds and the lower the pitch of the voice. The size of the blank is a secondary sexual characteristic partly controlled by testosterone. This is why the male blank, I'm saying blank because I can't pronounce that, commonly referred to is as the Adam's apple. Oh, okay, gotcha. It enlarges disproportionately within the onset of puberty. The size of the vocal cords, commonly referred to as the vocal cords, is largely determined by the size of it, and their thickness is further influences by the, okay, so then he cites a research that says a man's deep voice is more attractive than good looks. I can kind of agree with this. I think there's definitely some correlation here, 100%, where a man's deeper voice can be more attractive, 100%. I think of it kind of similar to the whole short thing, but not to an extreme extent, because short, like a guy's height, you can see right away. A voice can turn off a girl, 100%. Is it the end of the world if your voice is like lighter than the average guy? No, I mean, but you're gonna have to work on the other aspects again, because attraction is a multifaceted concept that takes a lot of different factors. But yeah, let's see what else he has. And I know some people are genuinely attracted to a deeper voice, so nothing wrong with this so far. Okay, he says how to get a deeper voice. Starts talking about non-surgical methods like deep chanting, primal screaming, which is going out of somewhere, preferably where not many people are, and start screaming, growling loud sounds, as loud as you can, 5 to 10 minutes every day. Does that really help you? Wouldn't that destroy your vocal cords? Wait, genuinely, chat, I feel like this is a terrible advice. That's how you destroy your vocals, no? Smoking cigarettes, I highly don't recommend this, and it's not recommended, only if you truly wish. Okay, so at least this person has talked about that because, oh, he even says over time it can deepen your voice by swelling your vocal cords, make you maintain Make sure that you maintain high amounts of tea during puberty. Too late for most of you. Clear your throat. Take a deep breath. Oh, that's interesting. Mint pastels helps you relax throat muscles. Huh. I wonder if any of this is actually true. You can get vocal surgery, voice deepening surgery, aka fat injection thyroplasty. This surgery is performed by injecting fat into the patient's vocal cords. Holy crap. Okay, look, I'm not gonna judge you if you want to change something about yourself because everybody got their insecurities, but I cannot imagine being the level of insecure to where you would fork out 2,000 to 5,000 I said calories, Jesus Christ. I'm so like into my diet right now. $2,000 to $5,000 for some voice deepening surgery. I feel like you can at least fake it before you even like do that. Like, oh, hello, my name is Loon. Medicalization of that. Wow. People actually do this? That's kind of sad. Like, I know, hey, like, I'm not here judging. I'm just saying it's a sad idea that people are so insecure about this. However, I understand, like, you know, they see women attracted to, you know, deeper voices, and it goes down this path. Okay, so the second thing he lists is designer stubble. Okay, so far I can kind of get with this because this can definitely be something attractive to women. Do I have one? Hell no. I'm the wrong type of Asian to be having stubble. But yeah, I can't grow hair anywhere. Like literally. There's like 2 spots that I grow hair. Yeah, but I can agree that a nice designer stubble can be attractive. So far, I can kind of get with this guy's post. I don't really believe in all this mumbo jumbo research stuff, but I definitely do believe in some validity in this. And he gives some actual genuine advice on how to, you know, keep your stuff clean. What is his third thing? Oh, he even talks about biotin, which I also think is a decent vitamin that should help you. I don't know if it's proven though. Surgical method is insane. Beard transplant? People get beard transplants? A beard transplant takes hair from another part of your body, usually the base of your scalp at the back or under your chin, and transplant it into your face. So it's like hair transplant, but for your beard? That's crazy. An average of 4,000 to 7,000 hairs can be transplanted one by one or transplanted. Some surgeries can use 2 hairs per graft to give a more natural appearance to the beard. Hair is permanent. 3,000 to 7,000. Dude, imagine spending $3,000 to $7,000 to have a beard transplant. Wow, there's like videos on this. That's insane. Let's look at some beard transplants before and afters because I'm like super curious. Okay, so this guy had a patchy beard here and then he kind of filled it in. Okay, this looks insane. Like you gotta clean it up, bud. But you know, 3 months after, I get it. But why would you spend that much money on it? Why not just shave? Do they not look good shaved? Maybe? I don't know. There's something off-putting about the shape that he chose. I don't think it's inherently bad looking by any means. I mean, this is some legit surgery stuff, but oh, ew, what the hell? What the hell is that? Okay, that is not good. That one is terrible, actually. Yeah, it just looks off-putting. Like, that doesn't look natural. Some of them, like the first dude, yeah. Yeah, some of them look really bad, though. I guess you just gotta pay for some good stuff. It talks about dark hair, brown or black. See, this is, I don't agree with this because I think as somebody who has black hair, I think this is fully subjective. There are some women that love blonde haired guys. So I also think this cultural thing. It depends on where you are. Like if you're in like Asia, it's very common to have dark hair. But even now, like with the Korean pop that's been blowing up, having colored hair is also can be a thing, at least for the younger folks. Tattoos. Okay, I can attest to this, and you know, I'm gonna sit here and explain why. And there's gonna be somebody in the comments that says, "Oh, look at this guy, who got tattoos." Last time I did a video on incels, there was a genuine comment. You guys can find this, where a guy was like, "Oh, this dude's a wannabe loser with this little neck tats," and I'm like, "Buddy, you can say whatever. Doesn't change the fact that I have a neck tattoo and I like my neck tattoo. What's wrong with that?" But yeah, it's not a surprise to anyone that tattoos are relatively attractive to most women. I'm going to say most women. There are women out there that don't like guys with tattoos. I know that's kind of baffling. As a guy with tattoos, I think it's baffling too, but there are some. But a majority that I have encountered, it does improve your looks to an extent. The reason being is it gives you a kind of like bad boy image. It also can help you, like, I know it sounds weird, but with a symmetry, or like, it helps balance your asymmetries, I would say, because like if you have asymmetries in your abs or in like arms for say like mine, having tattoos kind of just masks some of it and it makes you just look more aesthetically pleasing. I don't know how to explain it, but I noticed a huge difference the moment I got tattoos. They weren't the reason that I got tattoos. Like I didn't get tattoos to just look attractive. Now I'm not gonna lie to you and say that, oh, that wasn't one of the reasons. Yeah, of course I wanna look good because I looked good with tattoos. Like I remember putting on like drawing on tattoos first to see how I would look. And I was like, dude, I look fucking awesome. And yeah, but majority reasoning was because I genuinely liked how I looked in those tattoos. Now, did it help me with women? Yes. Is that awesome? Yes. Why would I lie to you about that? But yeah, let's see what he says. A reminder, face and neck tattoos are bad. Interesting. I don't know. I think neck tattoos can be bad because they are like the extreme version of it. Face tattoos also, but I've also seen a lot of guys and with neck and face tattoos that have done well with women. Not saying me, but you know. So face and necks are apparently a no-go. Tats of girlfriends, ex-girlfriends, family, and fraternity. I definitely agree with the ex-girlfriend and girlfriend. I agree with the fraternity. It depends for the family. Like, is it a matching tat? Is it a small name? Nah, it's passable. Tats on butt or rear end. I mean, that kind of doesn't matter unless you get to the point where they see your butt. So at that point, I would be pretty shocked if a girl saw a butt tattoo and was like, oh, looks like we're not doing it anymore. Ankle tattoos. Is that unattractive? Is it? I guess if it's by itself, it is. But I have an ankle tattoo. I've got a couple. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's really considered ankle, but yeah, I don't know. I have a forearm tattoo. So, finger tattoos. Are those unattractive? Maybe. I guess by themselves they are for sure. So anyways, full sleeve arm tattoos are a check. Forearm tattoos, back tattoos, underside and wrist tattoos, chest tattoos, calf tattoos. Yeah. I mean, I can kind of agree with that. But at the end of the day, I'm going to say, I didn't even show you guys the screen. Sorry. I was reading off these. But I think at the end of the day, it comes down to, for tattoos, yes, they are attractive, but always choose to get tattoos because you want them. If you don't want tattoos, don't get them just because you want women. Like, that's like the worst idea, to be putting ink on yourself, because then you're going to be regretting it in the future. And that's literally permanent. Like, put tattoos on you if you want tattoos on you, and put tattoos on you wherever you want to put tattoos on you. However, I will agree with some. Don't put it on your face, neck, fingers, unless you have other tattoos first. Like, you don't want to be that guy with just a face tattoo. That's kind of weird. But yeah, facial scars. Is that a thing? Is facial scars more attractive? I love how like two of the examples he gives are literal video game characters. I mean, maybe. I don't know about this one, chat. Someone in chat, let me know. A girl, is facial scars attractive? I feel like scars, maybe. But what if it's like across your whole face? That's like a bad. No, I don't know. Are they attractive? Wow, he even tries to cite studies. Wow, interesting. Solution: get slits in your eyebrows similar to what Jason Momoa has. While his is an actual scar, the slit can mimic a scar. Dude, I thought he was going to say, yeah, just, cut it up. Muscles. Yes, I do agree. I don't care what anyone says. I'm going to say most human beings, 99% of guys, will look better, more muscular. I'm going to make that claim out there. Now, not extreme muscle. You don't want like bodybuilder muscle, but you want a natural physique. These are a little bit like too unattainable for the average human being. I would say the second one is attainable. I mean, all of these can be attained naturally, but this first guy, you got to have like peak genetics. The last guys, the rest of the three are believable, I'm going to say, but you really got to work for these. You don't have to get to this level, but I do agree that having some form of muscle will be attractive to majority of women. Don't care what they say, it is a good thing. And I do agree with him here. So for the most part, this sexual appeal maxing isn't a bad thing so far. There was a few things I don't really fully agree with, like the scar. Thick muscular neck? Yeah, maybe. Because if this is tough, because if you're short, you don't want a fucking mega thick neck because then you're gonna look like a thumb. Yes and no. I think some people can pull off a thin neck. Oh, look, Brad Pitt's an example. He literally is so hot, and he look at him. Why would you put this as an example? That's a terrible example of a thin neck that's being bad. Like, you know how many women go for him? Neck training is crazy. Dude, you guys ever seen this? The neck harness? I mean, hey, if you really want to get your neck like bigger, I don't think you need all that, because in reality, you can just be doing farmer's carries or, you know, some form of trap workout and you'll grow your neck. But, you know, you got to be careful with that kind of stuff because it can also cause sleep apnea. SWR and SHR and WHR. What is this? Shoulder to waist ratio, shoulders to hip ratios, waist to hip. I think yes, kinda. Like there's some correlation with the V-taper for sure. But I don't think you should obsess over something like this. I mean, once you start working on your muscles, that will kind of come naturally. Wow, he really goes in here. Height is his next one. Oh God, he's gonna talk about it, isn't it? I mean, I'm not disagreeing with him. Height is an attractive trait for women, but ideal is 6 to 6'5". I don't know. I feel like it should be 5'10" to 6'4"-ish. I also know some women that don't like tall guys, so that's a thing. Non-surgical method lifts. Yeah, you know what? Hey, I'm here to say it. I use lifts. I don't use them all the time because I don't want people to have like an unrealistic expectation. However, they do make me feel good. And so I'm going to wear them. Elevator shoes. I never got into these because they're expensive. And I don't feel like doing all that when lifts are literally like 20 bucks. Spine stretching treatment. That's a thing. I mean, that sounds great just to get done anyways, but that's crazy. Yeah, surgical method. Guys, there's so many downsides to limb lengthening. I'm just not going to even talk about it. Yeah, you guys know, a 16,000 in Russia and 85,000 in US is crazy. This next one, he talks about having a big schlong. And he says, big schlong is one of the most brutal black pills of all times. You can have a 7 face, great physique and height, but if you have a micro, it's over. And here's what I'm gonna say to this. Is it completely over? I don't agree with, because I actually have met somebody with a micro that has gotten laid. How do I know this? The woman that he, you know, did that with was a friend of mine. And I asked her because she mentioned it. She brought it up. And, you know, he doesn't know that I know whole ordeal, but this was from like high school days. But she mentioned it and she said, you know what? He was really nice and he made up for it with a lot of other acts. And you guys can fill in the blanks there. But is it harder? 100%. I'm not going to sit here and tell you like, and give you like a false reality, but at the same time, is it hopeless? No, because I'm being very honest. I know this guy who actually legitimately got it, but you know, it was different than what I would do in the act, for obvious reasons. Like what they did was a lot different than what I did, but he still did it. And so, hey, just saying. So I want to say it's completely over. And I also think that there's a sweet spot with size for guys. I think it's not always the bigger the better. Based on the women that I've asked, I think there's a sweet spot, and it kind of ranges around like the 5 to 8, and some women will say 8's too big too, and some women will say 5's too small. So it definitely is a subjective thing, but I've definitely seen it mostly like it's like a bell curve. You know, some people are gonna say here's fine, and then it's going to go here. Most people are going to say around this range. And then a few people will say this is fine. But majority won't either because it hurts them. So, yeah. Wow. There are non-surgical methods you can do. Gelquing? Mostly anecdotal evidence, but some have seen results. It's a technique. Interesting. Sorry, I can't show this because there's a lot of words. A pee pump? Huh. Wow. That's a thing. And then enlargement surgery is crazy. 15,000 to make your eggplant a little bigger? That's crazy. Okay, and there you go. We got the end of his guide. Interesting. Just imagine these two guys walk up to you in the bar. Who do you think will slay the most? Depends. Are we in college? Because this guy looks like he's in college and he would do well in college. Some girls wouldn't go for this guy because he's a little too intimidating and a little too old for them if they're college students. Now, the vast majority of older women, yes, 100% guy too, because this guy looks like he's in college. So I think there's a lot of, this is a weird comparison here. Yeah. But yeah, you know what? All in all, I'm not completely against this guy's guide. There's some things in here. I'm going to say most things in here can be used for good. All right, we've got one here that says how to ascending while pubescent. Sorry, I cannot read. Pubescent. Still can't say it right. But yeah, So this guy's looking to ascend, which means, you know, lose his V card and, you know, finally get her done with a lady friend. While he's in his or adolescence. So as a teen, I'm assuming, like a preteen, teen. I don't know, preteen's a little too young in my opinion. But let's say teen. So he says, I'm actively still growing and going through puberty, and I wanted to know what's the best way to ascend. Not sure about the peptides or roids or anything. I just want to exploit my growth since I've been going through puberty and still haven't grown much. Oh, I guess ascend in this context might be just to grow taller or tallest. Okay, but interesting. Then he tags some guy who's on this forum a lot. Help this young blood. He only gives advice to farm solutions. Truly pathetic. I give advice so my rep to post ratio gets better. Tag me instead next time. Okay. Guess we got some internal dialogue here. Just have a good diet, getting into nutrition and get good sleep, be active and play sports. As for roids or peptides, do not roids as it will cause your plates to close quicker and you're not smart enough for it. You know what? I can kind of agree with that. Peptides, you can do CJC. I don't know anything about peptides, so I'm not going to agree with that. But you know what? I actually agree with this. Nutrients and good sleep. People underplay how important like your adolescence is like for growth and, you know, just dieting. Sleep. Sleep is so important, dude. And, you know, as kids, we don't think about that kind of thing until it's still a little too late. I mean, quickly burning through this, it seems like a lot of people are, you know, actually genuinely trying to help each other, although there are sprinkles of like black pill goofiness in between. Let's read this one. It says 14-year-old incel. That's a crazy concept because I'm pretty sure like 99.9% of people are incels at 14, dude. I was an incel. Everybody is an incel at some point, dog. I was an incel until I was 16 because I was 14. That was the only reason. When you're 14, you're kind of an idiot. Let's read this. Hi, guys. I'm a 14-year-old Asian kid, currently 5'4" right now. Oh, my God. Am I talking to my like past self or something? Well, I was even shorter, though. Granted, I'm 5'4" now. So he's 5'4" right now. Probably won't grow because of my short parents. Wow, this guy might end up literally being me. I'm talking to myself. Except this is Arthur. Any ideas to grow taller, or should I just, oh my God. What? See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, and you know, this guy is probably on incel forums and like this one. Well, I mean, I wouldn't consider this a full incel forum, but like talking about stuff like this. He literally said, or should I just KMS and give me some ideas to KMS if I don't have any hope? That's crazy. Like, dude, kids are 14 years old thinking about this. It's kind of sad. I know people are like thinking it's a joke or something, but it's sad for me to see that we're in a society now where kids are on forums like this talking about this kind of stuff and thinking about it. And even if they're joking about it, all jokes start with some truth, you know? It's kind of dark. Sorry for the bad grammar. My English isn't my first language, since English isn't. Okay, first off, I'm going to give this kid advice before we read the other advice. Look, you're 14. At the end of the day, bro, you're 14. You have so much of your life ahead of you. Do not consider yourself an incel because you're just a 14-year-old. Everyone's an incel at 14, dog. Now, the fact of you growing, look, the best thing you can do is, you know, sleep, do some form of fitness. You don't have to weight lift. You're 14 years old. Again, just like, you know, be a little active, play some sports, eat a good diet. And at the end of the day, you're limited by your genetics. Make the best of your genetics. But at the end of, dude, 5'4" doesn't mean you're cooked, bro. And I don't care. Someone in this video's chat, an incel or a looks max lurker is going to say, look at this guy coping with the reality of you're 5'4". You're totally cooked. I'm telling you, as another 5'4" Asian guy, I promise you that you can get on the other side and you can get on it a lot of times. You can infer whatever you want to think by what I'm saying by that, but there's a lot of other things you can do that makes you an attractive person to women. Now, are a lot of women not going to like you for your height? Yeah, totally. I mean, there's going to be someone that won't even like you because you're Asian, but that's with anybody and any preference, right? But I'm telling you, there are a lot of women out there that are totally down to clown with a 5'4" Asian guy. And look, you don't have to listen to me, but as another one of you, literally you, 5'4" Asian, I'm just saying. Now, it takes some time to get to this point, though. There are a lot of things you have to do. Kind of some of the stuff that was mentioned in this video, I did myself. So I'm not going to sit here and say that it was like super easy. You can't just like walk out to the world and it just happens. You got to have some charisma, some other things. Build up your stats. Your English is fine. What kind of Asian are you? Leg lengthening. See, this is what I'm saying, dude. 14-year-old kids literally looking on a form like this, asking for help, and then someone telling them leg lengthening. Next thing you know, the 14-year-old's warped, gets leg lengthening, and then he has detrimental issues with his knees for the rest of existence. He says Filipino. Oh, I love Filipinos, dude. Wow, I have to blur this, but he says depends if you have a small wee-wee. Interesting. Yeah, those cost a lot, referring to the leg lengthening. I'd probably KMS before I got enough money to do that. Best thing you can do is sleep well if you want to go through it naturally. No, why is this relevant on height? Referring to the small DD. That's funny. It's crazy that we're reading stuff like this. Dude, this one's nuts. I'm going to skim through this. It says easy method to get hella H's in school. All you dumb A's think that you need to be HTN, I don't even know what that means, or CLT or CL plus to get girls, at least in high school. That's not the case. Okay, so this is talking about getting high school girls. I'm assuming this guy's in high school. I'm hoping. Even if you're in, dude, I hate these lingos. You can still get H's and at least F, so you don't feel like an incel. When I was in sophomore year, I dead ass talked to 0 girls, felt like a loser, but did all the I'm telling you now over the course of 2 years, and I'm now sitting on 6 bodies. Congratulations, dude. I mean, good for you. It's just goofy that he's talking about, but let's hear him out. He might actually have some good advice. So I'll get feedback too. General stuff, not a lot at all. Pretty minimal hair, teeth. Genuine hygiene, and he gives advice on like shampooing, moisturizing, taking care of your body. Okay, you know what? I agree with that. Obviously, find a hairstyle that suits your face. You just don't want a neck, and check out Oh, you don't want to look like a nerd, and check out the people at your school and see the cuts that they have. Most will have mid-length and might have a flow cut. These are the best, but your hair needs to be good, not greasy or dirty. Okay, I can somewhat agree with this so far. Shave your face. To be honest, you'll probably look better without facial hair, especially at that young age. Yes. Teeth are hella important. Brush with an electric toothbrush and fluoride twice a day. Floss at every night. Okay, you know what? Even though this guy had a douchey start, I can kind of get into this. Don't be a gym bro. I have not seen at least one pretty girl obsessed if you're too big and can lift a lot. It's much better to be more appealing to be lean and athletic. Obviously, if you're skinny, go on a bulk, blah, blah, blah. Gives an example. On the flip side, if you're obese, go on a caloric deficit. You know what? Yeah, this is kind of a good idea so far. Once you've made progress, start doing a sport, become more athletic. Pick best sport in my opinion is basketball. It's a fun sport, but it's also attractive. Pickleball is a hella popular sport right now, so maybe that's good to do. Soft maxing. What's soft maxing? Yeah, so to be honest, I don't know a lot about this, but I'll tell you what I did. I did minoxidil plus rosemary oil on my eyebrows and trimmed them to make my shape of my eyes better. Okay, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of for it. If it makes you feel more confident and you look better, then yeah. Hygiene maxing, I agree. Very simple. First thing to do is shower every day. Gives examples, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of what he just said with the general stuff. Okay, appeal maxing. Most of what I said above is part of appeal maxing, like working out, teeth, etc. Next thing you want to do is dress good. Oh, yeah, okay, all right, I'm with it. Fashion maxing. You know, all in all, posts like on looks maxing can be good like this, 100%. It's just goofy the way that they talk because it's so akin to incels. It's almost like incels that are ascending, you know? And I'm proud of some of these guys. Some of them are pretty disgusting. So, but this one's a lot better than incel IS. And let's dive into this one now. Money making success. I want to see something here and see their opinions on how to succeed. Making $15K a month at 17. Holy crap, dude, that's a good amount of money at 17. I mean, I know 15K a month isn't survivable if you're an adult, but at 17, that's dope. Shout out to Adderall, R-word kids. What? And for making this possible. What are you talking? What? I'm aware 15K a month is still like no money. Wait, a month? Oh my God, I read this completely wrong. I thought he meant a year. 50K a month is insane. That is so much money. Bro, you make like more money than me. What are you talking about? Dude, there's no way. Someone said attention. Yeah, I mean, dude, you're goofy. Yeah, I'm not even entertaining that one. 15K a month at 17 is absolutely absurd if you're actually making that. How to escape slavery? Okay. How are you meant to have enough time to build a business while you're working full-time already? Literally impossible to escape slavery. I think the only way I'll ever make escape slavery is if I lose my job, so I have to go back in my mom's basement, and so I refuse to work another job again. So I'll dedicate my life to business maxing or to be broke forever. You know what? Hey, nothing wrong with that. Kind of goofy how you said it, but look, if you want to go all in on a business and risk, everything, I'm not going to sit here and tell you against that. But what I am going to tell you is there are ways in which a guy can get a job, work 40 hours for say, right? And still spend 20 to 40 hours of your week. I know it sounds a lot and I know it sounds grueling, but if you really wanted to establish something, that's the way you do it. Or you work part-time, work 20, 30 hours. Yeah, that's not really super sustainable, but it allows you to have some money and leeway and pay your bills while you're going into a business endeavor as somebody who owns a business. But hey, don't listen to me. I'm just telling you from my advice. Look, like I'll break it up for you guys now. I spent about 30 to 40 hours on my nail salon business. And then I spent about, I'm going to say anywhere from 10 to 15 hours on YouTube. One day I'm hoping to spend even more hours on that. And then I spent an extra like I'm going to say like 2 to 5 hours on, and this is like everything else, meaning it could be my insurance because I sell insurance, or my Instagram content because I am sponsored on Instagram and I do content for a specific brand. And then also I'm going to say an extra I'm going to say a little lower, like 2 to 5 hours on newer endeavors. And those newer endeavors will eventually grow into more hours and then you give or take. But if you want something bad enough, you're going to make time for that to happen. I understand that some people really have to grind and slave away to pay whatever they need to. And in that case, it does become hard, but then you have to reevaluate how much do you want to risk for something like that. And time is risk too. Time is just about as valuable as money. And when it comes to opening a business or any endeavor, anything, a new job, anything like that, or moving up in your work even, everything that comes with a great reward or possibility of reward usually comes with a risk, whether it's your money you're risking or time, or oftentimes both. But yeah, that's my advice. Do with it as you may. What? This one says PayPal question, working on a new scam. Hello everyone. If I receive money on PayPal via email, will it show my real name to the person sending it to me? If it's so possible to change my PayPal name. What? People are on this form genuinely looking to scam others? What the hell? What's your ethnicity though? Jesus Christ. Oh my God. See, this is like the weird stuff that's in here. Do not effing start YouTube Shorts is the title of this one. It says, the competition is so damn high and the reward is so little to none. You need years of experience in the field to start making $500 a month, and you can do so much more than this BS. No one will ever help you and give you actual advice for this, so you're on your own. Okay. Okay, this is kind of how I feel about it. Bro, someone who's in it for not the money, but for the passion is going to have an easier time making money with it. God, that is such facts. You guys think I'm doing YouTube right now because of the money? Hell no. Dude, you guys should have seen the first year I did YouTube, I didn't make a single penny. The second year I did YouTube, I made maybe like a few hundred, like the whole year, like 200-300. I've been doing this for a long time. And then is the money nice? Hell yeah. Last month we made 300, which isn't my peak. My peak was right before I got suspended, which was 700-800. That was awesome. I'm hopefully working back to that, but my numbers have been, dwindling up and down. It's very roller coaster ridey. So, but I understand that's the nature of the game. I'm not going to depend on YouTube as a whole, but one day, maybe. Find your passion and making money on it will be easier than other things. Yeah, exactly. Like I genuinely love making videos for you guys. It's so fun to read this stuff. And it's always a new, fascinating adventure we dive in together. Never say a oid with an F, you're better looking than her. What? Simple reason. Any HTB or higher has infinite access to Chad, etc. And guess what? Oids hate that because you mog them. Oh, gee, I hate this lingo, man. This is straight incel IS lingo. They want to be the center of attention, not you. They want to be the beauty and you be the beast. So never ever say your trump card is that you look better than her. Well, yeah, you shouldn't say that. You shouldn't say that to anyone. Instead, flatter her with compliments and use some blackpill info and impress her like Tinder stats, etc. I mean, the compliments maybe, but the rest, don't do that. The halo effect. Since you have shown her that it's not just the looks that carry you, JFL, that's the only thing that matters. Rather, your other traits like some NT jokes, etc., she'll be even more attracted to you. Pro tip, I saw the GC chats of my girl, group chats of my girl, and she said that I don't know myself that I'm attractive, which makes it 10 times more hot. So be humble. Dude, this guy is such a F-boy. The fact that he's self-aware, he's so not actually humble, he's fake humble. And don't just say you mog her, get liver. Or pick someone that you actually think is beautiful. Just easy as that. What? And then you can actually not lie about it and just be like, you are actually beautiful. But don't forget, you gotta mog the living out of her first. And also, this doesn't work if she's way out of your league, like she's a LOT and you're an HTN. Say it to her face. You mog and share it to me. Else, just keep your mouth shut. What the? Dude, this is weird. I'm cooked. I'm done. I'm ending on this note because we've been rolling for like 40-50 minutes. But yeah, this is today's dive into looksmax.org. You guys seem to really like this form, or maybe seem to hate this form from last episode. If you guys enjoyed this one as well, let me know in the comment section down below, and then with the like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you guys hit the subscribe and notification bell. Help me towards the goal of 13,000 subscribers. Thank you in advance, and you guys are the best. Love you guys so much. Hope you guys have a good one. Bye.